There's nothing you worship but God. And this is my favorite thing about Islam, is that it's the only religion you worship nothing but God. I don't even like bringing up Christianity, but in Christianity, it's like, is Jesus God or the Son of God? You're praying to Mother Mary and saints and pictures and statues and all these different things. In a certain other religion, they're chosen, but they only worship God. And it's like, okay, well, I'm not born into that, so that doesn't make any sense. And then there's Hindus who think everyone's God. And it's like, okay, just knowing that basic information, Islam is clearly the truth. You worship nothing but the Creator, the master of the Day of Judgment.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's like this being, Allah, is outside of time. I've said this before, but Allah created time.
If you think about it, Allah, God is just present in all times, you know? He's present in the past, He's present in the future, which is a crazy way to think, but it's like, literally, if God knows what has happened to you, what was happening now, and what's gonna happen to you, He's present in all those moments, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Bro, you know what's crazy that I was thinking about earlier while we were praying and we were making dua, is from when I've taken psychedelics and I look at my hands, your hands look all freaky and weird. But when you're on an Iman high, meaning a high on faith in Islam, and especially after a prayer and I'm making dua looking at my hands, I get that same feeling. It's like you don't even need to take psychedelics once you become a Muslim.
Hands.
No, I swear though, an Iman high is better than any drug or sex or anything.
Yeah,
it really is, because you're connected with the Creator of all of those other things.
Let's break that down though, because like, what is an Iman high, right? So for people who don't know what Iman is,
so an Iman high is just where it's just your faith. Like your faith is
Iman
just
is your faith, right?
Your all-time highs.
Right.
And it's not like I have zero doubts about Islam. That's the thing. Like I am 100% confident that it is the truth. It's clear as day to me.
But like, even in the sense of like Iman high, right? What does that entail?
I guess it really means like your closeness and relationship with God.
That's one. And I think another thing about that is like, at the end of the day, like the way your closeness is to God is like a discipline to always become your best, you know? And when you're really living it to that aspect, it's like you're on like it's really the number one way to my idea of happiness, and I think a lot of people's idea of happiness, just like having a sense of gratitude no matter what happens, and to just like the ultimate self-improvement, right? Like when you're on that self-improvement through God as well, right? That's what the Iman High is in particular. It's like you don't need a vice, you don't need this and that.
Facts.
You're just high on life.
You feel not only closest to God, but you just feel the best when you're working hard. When you're not wasting time, you know? Like you go to bed with tasks for the next day. These tasks are actionables that will take you closer to your overall goal. So like if you want to make money, then your tasks, if you're a complete beginner, would maybe just be watching some business YouTube videos, maybe reading a business book. Those are your initial tasks. Because like you're starting at 0 XP, and so getting to like 50 XP as a person, it's a lot more rapid compared to the growth after that. Almost the chart of self-improvement looks like this, I'd say. And then it's like maybe you go down a bit, and you come back higher and you go down. But overall, it's like your initial 100 hours into self-improvement is going to be the most drastic of change.
Yeah, for sure. I agree. You know, at a certain point, your purpose will unravel into a new purpose, and that's where it kind of like, you know, might dip again. And
you never have you might have the vision, but the way God steers you on that path is mind-blowing. Like everything that I've ever done, you know, I've had an end goal in mind. I'm doing my daily tasks that get me closer to that. And then sometimes God just gives you a new opportunity, or pivots you, and you have a new goal now, or something bigger and something better. Yeah, we weren't even talking about Islam much back when we were making Upgrade Your Character, which is so interesting. And I remember we started praying for Boston Rock during the start of filming that video, and my knees just like wouldn't go down.
Yeah. I honestly don't even notice that anymore. I forgot about that.
No, my knees are totally fine now. I could sit like that for hours.
Yeah.
But the start, bro, I used to make like the craziest poses, and you would just look over and start laughing.
Yeah, I try not to, obviously, because he's doing his best. But like, you know, you just had a little difficulty just like fully getting on your knees for prayer. And, you know, like just seeing that progress is immense. Like it really is immense. For me personally, even like after Upgrade Your Character, for my own reasons, I started thinking about prayer, you know? Like I stopped working my 9 to 5, moved out of my apartment. It wasn't like a low, but it was like a low, you know? It wasn't the low, it was a low. And I was just like, you know, I really want to just do something different. And the way we're living life right now, like it's interesting because like you have to to do anything, you just have to do it, right? There's so many things that people can do, but the fear of just not doing it and applying yourself and going through those challenges like stops them from doing it. But then like when you have God, like a circumstance like this, I was like, you know what? I want to make films. Like I want to just make creative videos. I want to make my income off of that. I want to be able to buy a house off of that, or like, you know, lead me towards that. And the only way to really do that and have full trust in yourself is through God. God, you know? And that's when I just started praying more. I was like, yo, I gotta start praying. And then, you know, a big help was like praying together, right? That's why I enjoy working with Muslims. Like even when I went to Turkey with Arab and all that, it's nice when you can work on a project and you can pray like throughout the day. Like when it comes to having like patience, when it comes to like time, just trusting the vision in general. Like
it's like prayer is your vice. You don't need a drink or smoke at the end of the night to wind down. You're praying throughout the day. So like, let's say you get caught doom scrolling, but it's time to pray. All right, now you have something to break that. Let's say you just need a break from working. You have a prayer. Come back, look at it with a fresh set of eyes. It's so funny because people will be like, you got to meditate and start your day this way and that way. It's like, bro, why don't you just pray and at least gain up some XP with God in the meantime? It's like you're already meditating basically.
Yeah. No, for sure. I think like it is okay. Like at the end of the day, there's like a bunch of self-improvement things we'll do. Like people like meditation in a sense is just like not think of anything for like 10 minutes. That's cool. I think it's number one, better to think of God. And if you still want to do that, it's fine.
Well, the Prophet meditated a lot. It is like, it's good.
I think what's important, yeah, for sure, exactly. And I think what's most important is the intention. Like even, for example, going to the gym, right? You go to the gym with the intention of like, you know what, I want to get abs or something, or like, you know, this type of thing. But if you go with the intention of like, oh, you know what, I want to be a better man for God. I want to be a better leader for my family. I want to just like use these health benefits to do those things. Then your literal like workout, your mindset towards it it's blessed. You know, like you can trust like, oh, Allah's behind this too, or God's behind this too. Like it's not about like, I want to get abs and these things. Not that that's wrong, but if you have that intention as the number one, you're more likely to just have a blessed, you know?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, for sure.
Just thinking of Allah with everything that you do.
Yeah, and yeah, that's what I appreciate about making these videos. Like even now, like we're not really making anything, but you know, we're just like living in this beach house, waking up, praying Fajr, looking at the sunrise. We're not missing any prayers, alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah, we're not missing any prayers, you know what I'm saying? And then like we're going to Nobu, eating a fish, like off the bone, like, you know, poking its eyes out.
No, it is crazy to think about. Like, bro, you go to such a different wavelength when you really do just lean on God for everything. And for anyone even watching this right now, just do small tests if you have to. Just like lean on God for even the tiniest things and just ask him to help you out, and it'll blow your mind every time. Like I remember one thing that really sticks out when I was with you was when we were filming Free America, we were in Lake George and the closest masjid was like an hour away. And we had the boat shots at 1.
Friday prayer.
There was Friday prayer at 1 o'clock and it was an hour away, and we were supposed to have boat shots at the same time. And you're like, yo, it's Friday prayer. Bro, we gotta do this, really? And we were still praying and stuff, but I was like, yeah. Like, nah, bro, let's go.
We gotta go.
And we drove an hour, went, it was nice, then got some food after, came back, and the boat was ready.
Yeah, perfect timing. And then it's like, you know, you can't predict what happens after, but like there's so many things in life where it's just like, yo, that's like a God moment. Like that probably changed the amount of sleep we got, which changed the time we left the next day to where we ended up, which is like, you know, being in New York at Times Square where they got very conveniently like...
He just cooks you, bro. God just cooks you in ways you couldn't even imagine. So a couple weeks ago, I got an offer for my YouTube community posts to do some gambling promos for like 10 to 20K a month. Just YouTube community posts. I said no. I didn't even like look into it. Mashallah. Said no. And then the next week had one of my biggest weeks in business in a long time.
Alhamdulillah. Yeah, Allah's blessing. It's true. Like when you give something up for the goodness of God, it's just like yo, gambling is like there's really no justifying it. It's just like degenerate. You're just taking away people who are a vice, like the craziest vice ever, and you're just like taking advantage of them to make some money.
I know there's really like no other influencers I look at.
You can't like proudly look at your daughter or your son and be like, yeah, this house that you're living in or whatever, this food we're eating, because I just like, you know, made some gambling rig and now like
straight scamming.
Now you're eating good. Like you could, but you know, it's a different life. It really is a different life, you know? Having that like conviction, like as a person, instilling that in somebody. Otherwise you end up with something so superficial.
Yeah, bro, and it's like everything that we say online, every dollar that we make, every word that comes out of our mouth, online or offline, you're gonna have to face God with every single thing that you ever did.
It tests your patience as a person, your goodness, your humility. And you know, sometimes you'll hear like, okay, maybe you don't need religion for these things. And I'm sure like little things like that, you know, as a person, you could be good at certain aspects of life. But like for a well-roundedness as a person, like in all ways, not just being good to people, all these things, being good to God and just having that faith. Like for example, there's this concept in Islam called Baraka. So like the idea idea of like, okay, you have $50,000, maybe you earn this in a halal way, but then you have $50,000 you earn in like gambling and stuff, right? Like the weight of that 50K that you earn in like the halal way, or just like a God-given way, sure, like good money, like God bless this money, right? Like you're not scamming mans for this money. That has more, you know, power than any amount of money in gambling. 100K in gambling, 200K in gambling, right? That just has way more weight. And like when you can think like that, you can have so much more faith. It doesn't matter like, oh, I only have 50K. It's like, wow, I'm blessed I have 50K. You know what I mean? Like that's enough. God's given me this. And then you can just put your trust into that. And like, you know, that's how you earn more wealth, honestly, in the right ways.
No, it's facts. It is facts. Like, bro, Islam really does blow my mind every single day. It's just so based. It's like the logic that God gave me. I finally found out the reason I have it. And it's not to set up this podcast equipment or move the lights in the right way.
Yeah, no, for sure.